Welcome everyone. In this lecture, we are going to see the design of satellite links for specified carrier to noise ratio, that is designed for specified C by N ratio. The BER, that is bit error rate, or C by N signal to noise ratio in the baseband channel of earth station receiver is determined by the ratio of the carrier power to the noise power in the IF amplifier at the input to the demodulator. The noise present in the IF amplifier comes from many sources. The noise in the earth station intermediate frequency amplifier will have contribution from the receiver itself, the receiving antenna, sky noise, and satellite transponder from which it receives the signal, and adjacent satellites and terrestrial transmitters which share the same frequency band. Here, when more than one carrier to noise ratio is present in the link, we can add the individual C by N ratios reciprocally to obtain overall C by N ratios, and which is denoted as C by N subscript O. The overall carrier to noise ratio is given as C by N subscript O is equal to 1 divided by 1 by C by N of one system plus 1 divided by C by N ratio of second system, and so on. This sometimes referred as reciprocal of C by N formulas. The C by N values must be linear ratios and not decibel values. So the overall carrier to noise ratio is given as C divided by N1 plus N2 plus N3, where we can say that the C by N ratios at the decibels, or when we are representing C by N ratio overall, is equal to C dB watt minus 10 log to the base 10 N1 plus N2 plus so on, and representing in decibels. C by N ratio at the receiver always yields carrier to noise ratio overall, the combination of transponder and earth station carrier to noise ratios. To calculate the performance of a satellite link, we must determine the uplink carrier to noise ratio in the transponder and the downlink C by N dN in the earth station receiver. Also consider any interference present either in the satellite receiver or the earth station receiver. If the IM power level in the transponder is known, then C by I value can be found and included in the calculation of carrier to noise ratio, that is overall carrier to noise ratio. Interference from adjacent satellites likely whenever small receiving antennas are used, as with VSATs and DBS TV receivers. C by N values are calculated from power and noise budgets. There are some rules of thumbs for estimating carrier to noise ratio overall from two carrier to noise ratio values. That is, if the carrier to noise ratio value are equal, that is C by N0 overall is given as 3 dB lower than either the value. That is, with consideration of two C by N values, now we can compare. If both of the C by N values are equal, the overall C by N is 3 dB lower than the either of the value. Now the second case is if one value is 10 dB smaller than the other value, overall C by N ratio is 0.4 dB lower than the smaller of the C by N values. And if one C by N value is 20 dB or more greater than the other C by N value, the overall C by N ratio is equal to the smaller of the two C by N values within the accuracy of decibel calculations, that is plus minus 0.1 dB. For this, with this respect, we can see one of the example here. That is, consider here the thermal noise in an earth station receiver results in a carrier to noise ratio down of 20 dB. A signal is received from a bent pipe transponder with a carrier to noise ratio up is equal to 20 dB. Then what is the value of overall carrier to noise ratio at the earth station? if the transponder introduces intermodulation products with C by I ratio is equal to 24, what is the overall C by N ratio at the receiving earth station? We have to solve for this. So we can use the equation for carrier to noise ratio. Overall carrier to noise ratio is equal to 1 divided by into bracket 1 by C by N of 1 plus 1 by C by N of 2 and so on. And noting that the C by N is equal to 20 dB corresponds to a C by N ratio of 100. That is numerical linear value when we consider is 100. So the overall carrier to noise ratio can be given as 1 divided by 1 by C by N of up plus 1 by C by N of down, and that all are given here. So it is 1 divided by 1 by 100 plus 1 by 100. So it will give us at 1 divided by 0.001 plus 0.01 is equal to 50, or in decibels it is 70 dB. The intermodulation carrier to C by I, carrier to interference value of 24 dB corresponds to a ratio of 0.004. The overall C by N value is then given as 1 divided by 0.01 plus 0.01 plus 0.004, and which is equal to 41.7 or 16.2 dB. Okay. So to find out the overall carrier to noise ratio with uplink and downlink attenuation, the effect of change in uplink C by N ratio has a different impact on overall C by N depending on the operating mode and gain of the transponder. There are three different transponder types or operating modes, that is linear transponder, which output power is equal to input power plus GXP in dB watt, where non-linear transponder output power given as input power plus GXP minus delta G in dB watt, and regenerative transponder output power is given as constant, where Pin is the power delivered by the satellite's receiving antenna to the input of the transponder, and Pout is the power delivered by the transponder high power amplifier to the input of the satellite's transmitting antenna, and GXP is the gain of the transponder, and all parameters we are expressed here in decibel units. The parameter delta G is dependent on input power Pin, and which accounts for the loss of gain caused by the non-linear saturation characteristics of the transponder, which is driven by hard to obtain close to its maximum power output. The gain is effectively falling as the input power level increases. The maximum output power from a transponder is called the saturated output power and is the nominal transponder power output ratings. The transponder input output characteristics is highly non-linear when operated at this output power level. When a transponder is operated close to its saturated output power level, digital waveforms are changed and resulting in intersymbol interference, that is ISI, and FDMA operations result in the generation of intermodulation products by multiplication of the individual signals. Transponders are usually operated with output back-off to make the characteristics more nearly linear. The exact amount of output back-off to make the back-off required in any given application depends on the specific characteristics of the transponder and the signal it carries. So that for the typical values of output back-off are 1 dB for a single FM or PSK carrier to 3 dB for FDMA operation with several carriers. So the corresponding input back-off values might be 3 dB and 5 dB, but the individual transponder characteristics must be known to make the accurate assessment. So here when we are going for the uplink attenuation and C by N ratio for uplink, the transponder receiver noise temperature does not change significantly when rain is present in the uplink path to the satellite. So we again consider here the rain attenuation effects that will affects the uplink and downlink differently. We assume that the rain attenuation is occurring on either the uplink or downlink but on both at the same time. If it is but not on both at the same time, that is, we can consider rain attenuation either to the uplink, at that time there is no rain attenuation on the downlink, and vice versa. It is true for earth stations that are well separated geographically and but not for the close together which are nearer to each other less than 20 km. The probability of rain occurring on both uplink and downlink simultaneously is very small. It is assumed that one link is attenuated and the other is operating in the clear air. So the transponder receiver noise temperature does not change significantly when rain is present in the uplink path to the satellite. The satellite receiving antenna beam is always sufficiently wide that it sees a large area of the earth's surface and local noise temperature variations are insignificant. The noise temperature of the earth seen by a geo satellite varies from a maximum of 270 Kelvin for a satellite antenna beam over Africa and northern Europe to a minimum of 250 K over the Pacific Ocean. The corresponding system noise temperature for the transponders on a geo satellite is in the range of 400 to 500 K. There is effectively no increase in uplink noise power when heavy rain is present in the link between an earth station and a satellite, because the antenna beam sees the tops of the cumulonimbus clouds above the rain, which are always colder than 270 K instead of the earth's surface. Now, rain attenuation on the uplink part to the satellite reduces the power at the satellite receiver input and thus reduces C by N up in the direct proportion to the attenuation on the slant path. If the transponder is operating in a linear mode, the output power will be reduced by the same amount, which will cause C by N down to fall by an amount equal to the attenuation on the uplink. When both C by N up and C by N down are reduced by A up dB, the value of C by N overall is reduced by exactly the same amount, A up dB. Hence, the case of linear transponder and rain attenuation in the uplink of A up dB we can define as carrier to noise ratio overall for uplink rain is equal to C by N overall in clear air minus A up. This is for linear transponder. If the transponder is non-linear, the reduction in input power caused by uplink attenuation of A up dB results in a smaller reduction in output power by an amount of delta G. That is, overall C by N uplink rain with consideration of uplink rain is C by N overall C by N in clear air minus AF plus delta G. This is for non-linear transponder. If the transponder is digital and regenerative or incorporates an automatic gain control system to maintain a constant output power level, overall carrier to noise ratio with uplink rain is equal to overall carrier to noise ratio in clear air, that is regenerative transponder or AGC, that is automatic gain control. The above equation will hold only if the received signal is above threshold and the bit error rate of the recovered digital signal in the transponder is small. If the signal falls below threshold, the uplink will contribute significantly to the BER of the digital signal at the receiving earth station. That is, now we can see here the downlink attenuation C by N dN. The earth station receiver noise temperature can change very significantly when rain is present in the downlink path from the satellite. The sky noise temperature can increase to close to the physical temperature of the individual raindrops, particularly in very heavy rains. A reasonable temperature to assume for temperate latitudes in a variety of rainfall rates is 270 K. although values above 290K have been observed in the tropics. An increase in sky noise temperature to 270K will increase the receiving antenna temperature markedly above its clear air value. The results is that the received power level C is reduced and noise power N in the receiver increases. The result of downlink C by N is given by C by N downlink for rain is equal to C by N down for clear air minus air N minus delta N in rain. The overall C by N is then given by overall C by N is equal to 1 divided by C by N down in rain plus 1 divided by C by N up dB. As earlier we noted earlier, unless we are making a loop back test, we will assume that the value of C by N up is for clear air and remain constant regardless of the attenuation on the downlink. So here we will see system design for specific performances. A typical two-way satellite communication link consists of 4 separate paths. That is, we can consider first path an outbound uplink path from one terminal to the satellite and an outbound downlink to the second terminal. Outbound uplink from one terminal to the satellite and outbound downlink from the second terminal. Okay, downlink from the satellite to the second terminal, and an inbound uplink from the second terminal to the satellite and an inbound downlink to the first terminal, from the satellite to the first terminal. The link in this way there are 4 ways, or we can say 2-way satellite communication and 4 links will be there. The link in the 2 directions are independent and can be designed separately unless they share a single transponder which uses the FDMA. A broadcast link like the DBS TV system described earlier is a one-way system with just one uplink and one downlink. The design procedure for a one-way satellite communication link can be summarized in the 10 steps that we can see here how we can go for the design procedure. The return link design follows the same procedure as we are designing for the uplink. First step is determine the frequency band in which the system must operate. Comparative designs may be required to help make the selection. Then second step is determine the communications parameters of the satellite. Estimate any value that are not known. Third step, determine the parameters of the transmitting and the receiving earth station. Fourth, start at the transmitting earth station, establish an uplink budget and a transponder noise power budget to find C by N up in the transponder. Fifth is find the output power of the transponder based on the transponder gain or output backoff. Sixth step is establish a downlink power and noise budget for the receiving earth station. Calculate C by N down and C by N overall for a station at the edge of the coverage zone with the consideration of worst cases. Seventh step is calculate signal to noise or bit error rate in the baseband channel and find the link margins. Number 8 is evaluate the results and compare with the specification requirements. Change parameters of the system as required to obtain acceptable overall carrier to noise ratio or signal to noise ratio or bit error rate values. This may require several trials and trial designs. Ninth step is to determine the propagation conditions under which the link must operate, calculate outage times for the uplinks and downlinks, and the last is redesign the system by changing some parameters if the link margins are inadequate, and check that all parameters are reasonable and that the design can be implemented with the expected budget. In this way, with the this design procedure, we can go for the design of the satellite links. In this way, in this lecture, we have seen uplink design, downlink design, overall carrier to noise ratio, and overall specified C by N ratio for the uplink rain attenuation consideration, for downlink rain attenuation considerations, and in this way we have also find out the specified system design parameters and link design procedure for satellite communication. Thank you.